Hi, everyone. So I promised in the last visionary meeting that I would do a short video on, well, what was called in that meeting the relationship triangle and the work I've done on what lies beyond that as well. Now, the relationship triangle, in my opinion, is not a good name for it. It was originally brought up as the drama triangle, which is what sort of roles need to be played in order for drama to be created. And I'm not talking about a drama in a movie, I'm talking about where we create drama. You know, lots of intensity, lots of drama, lots of misunderstanding. And in fact, what it's built on is separation and longing, which are the key components of pain. It's built on winning and losing. Someone wins, someone loses. And it's built on self-hate. So these are the pain, winners and losers, and self-hate. And that creates drama, negative drama, intensity, emotional drama, mental drama, spiritual separation, people trying to control each other, and people trying to gain. See, the key of it is there's been a separation and a longing for power, which originates from feminine energy, which is a whole other story I'll go into later on. But there's this pain, and someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. You'll see that in relationships. You'll see that in all sorts of programs on TV. You'll see that in finances. And it's all based on hating yourself because you hate being separated from who you truly are. And to cope with that, there are three things you can do. You can become a victim, because a victim is trying to control through acting out losing, self-hate, and longing and separation, being in pain, hating themselves and being a loser. That's a victim. And they think that if I really act that out, that will draw power to me. And in order to facilitate that, there's someone who's going to take advantage of them, win, lose, and there's someone who's going to make sure they don't lose. It's going to save the day. And that's what is called the rescuer or the hero. And then there's the persecutor, the person who's, the bully. People use various words depending on the context they're talking about. So there's someone who's giving you a hard time, someone who's a victim, and someone who's going to save the victim and put the persecutor, the bully, in their place. And that creates a drama which you see in movie after movie, acted out throughout history in Western culture and many cultures around the world. And it all comes from pain, the pain of losing contact with who you truly are, your spirituality, your relationship with the divine, and hating yourself because you don't know who you truly are. Now, people have gone into that for hours, written books on it, gone into it in incredible depth. I'm just going to leave it at that. And rather than being the relationship triangle, it's the dynamic that brings drama to relationships, whether it's business, intimate relationships, families, societies, politics, you name it. It's what brings drama into the equation. And the real drama is I've lost contact with authentic power. The feminine has been denied and the masculine has been, frankly, castrated. And there's this pain, this separation. Someone's winning, someone's losing, someone's being the victim, someone's being the persecutor who wins. the bully, and there's a lot of hate, and there's someone who's trying to put it right, who's caught up in the drama, because if they didn't, the whole thing would crash, collapse in on itself. Because the truth is, we're not separated from our power. We just believe we are. And we act out that reality. Now, what has been offered, again in the literature, as the alternative to that, in other words, you can play that game or you can go for an alternative. What's a better game? What's a game that's closer to the truth? And it's a game based on unique individuals working together rather than individuals separating and longing for love, but not having it. So it's unique individuals being able to work together. It's based on win-win and self-love. And if you want to play that game, these are the roles that enable you to create that sort of reality. And rather than being a victim, see yourself as a creator, someone who has access to power, authentic power. Now, it's not a matter of seeing yourself, although maybe that's a place to start. It's actually plugging into that power and realizing the power is within you and you have the ability to create. And if you were the world's biggest victim, which is quite a victory, you created that. So you have immense power to even do that and sustain that as a reality. So owning you're a creator, a unique individual, you can win, and you are lovable. Now, I'm putting it in very, very simple terms. Now, a creator needs two other things to work with. It needs challenges, something that challenges them. A challenge. Now, it doesn't mean they have to overcome it like climb a mountain. They can walk around the mountain. But it's something that they're challenged to use, to take their power and put it into, to develop true strength and put it into, to integrate themselves in a way that's real and put it into facing that challenge rather than facing that disaster or that persecutor. So the persecutor becomes someone who challenges people. Somebody said in the last call, a teacher. Well, teachers challenge you to learn. Right? And then the rescuer, that role turns into someone. Now, I've heard various words around this, but I like the words mentor or carer, someone who cares. They don't rescue you, they share their wisdom and they care for you. That brings in, they love you so you can learn to love yourself. The challenge is to create win-win, and to be a creator is a unique individual who's able to work with other unique individuals. See, creators don't work on their own, they bring their creativity to the table. And that's what they call the empowerment triangle in the literature. It's that dynamic. The victim becomes someone who owns their creativity, knows that they can create, and they look for challenges rather than bullies to push them into being greater victims. And they look for people who care, who they care about, and who care about them, because that's when you create win-win. And that's where you bring love to the table and people care about it and they bring their love to the table and you can work together. So that's a very simple dynamic about it. But then on top of that, because of the work I've done over 40, 50 years, I just started to extend it, being rather a creator myself. And by the way, I've played the victim, and, you know, on a daily basis, I get tempted and sometimes buy into it. It's not like I've overcome being a victim. It's not like drama goes away. Oh, we've eliminated drama. No, drama's there, but when it shows up, you acknowledge it and you get it to sit down, and you don't buy in and play with it too much. Or you see it as a challenge. Now, how can I create a better option where people see that there's a much more caring, positive option? And it's not just all mental woo-woo idealism. It's like, no, this works. So you see the drama triangle, and there are these 4 stories we all live through. There's our little story, you know, and you see kids when they're little, things can often become a drama because they feel like this and that, and they want someone to take care of them, The drama, or do you focus on the opportunity to empower? And which one do you feed? Which one do you give the most emphasis? And you don't ignore the drama, you just say, hey, there's a better option, until they choose that naturally because it's a better option, not because it's good, not because you'll go to heaven if you do it, not because that's the woke thing to do. It's because it's a better option. It's really practical. Right? So there's the drama, there's the empowerment, there's our little story and our big story, the drama triangle, the empowerment triangle. And then there's our great story that we're here to tell. And then there's another one called the grand story. And each one of us has a little story, which we need to acknowledge and grow through and know how to deal with elegantly. There's our big story, which is when we get empowered to start making something of ourselves, which a lot of the personal development and new age stuff has been about. And then there's the great story, where you work with something greater. And then the grand, the story, the grand, that involves humanity and our whole purpose here. And I'll very quickly go, because there's triangles that follow exactly the same pattern of each of them. And the great work triangle, I call it, is about conscious evolution. Not just evolution, but evolving consciously by conscious, deliberate choice. Not by being talked into it, not by being rah-rahed into it, but making a conscious, unique individual choice to grow and evolve. And that's your part, that's each one of our part in the great work, which is the evolution of us as human beings, as us as a human species. And there are 3 components. If you're going to do conscious evolution, the first thing, equivalent to the victim and creator, is consciousness. If it's going to be conscious evolution, you need to be conscious, not just a creator, but a conscious creator. So consciousness is the first component. The challenge, which victims see as the persecutor, is the world. And the thing that needs to be the rescuer or needs to be cared about, needs to be mentored, is the human species. Now, the thing about the great work is it's not an individual thing, because you've gone through the empowerment triangle of being a unique individual who's able to work together with other human beings. So it's about greater consciousness based on unique individual consciousness, not all agreeing to use the same words or look at the world the same way, but developing more consciousness about the world that we live in and what an incredible gift it is, and what an incredible consciousness it is, and the human species. What the hell are we really about as a species? And that's the great work triangle. Now, again, until you get to the empowerment triangle, it's all a bit, oh, wow, that's amazing. But, it's out there, it's ideal, it's just a bunch of ideas, but we never really do it because we get sucked back into the drama, or we're trying to be the biggest creator in the world. I've won one better than anyone else, wins. I love myself really well. It's like, no, I love myself, and there's no damn reason they shouldn't love themselves, because they're enough. And if we take our differences and weave them together, oh my God, what we can create. Now that's a challenge. And that's going to bring out our ability to mentor each other and to care for each other. So rather than the hero, you're someone who brings out the heroic in yourself and others by being powerful and strong enough to be vulnerable and gentle, to care. And this is so physical and spiritual. It's not a mental thing. The mind is here to observe what's going on. It's not here to, come up with something and then impose it on the physical world or our spiritual being. It's looking at the dance between our spirituality and our physicality and going, wow, and then maybe making suggestions and seeing if our spiritual being and our physical being decide to do something incredible with it, and becoming conscious of the physical world and the human species and the dance between them, because that is the great work, the evolution, the conscious evolution of our human species. Now that sounds like, wow, that's the bomb, that's the end of it. No, there's another level. It's like, what? And all of this is triggered by just looking at how we create drama and going, okay, this is what happens when we make it painful, when we have winners and losers and we don't love ourselves. But it's still a pattern. What else is possible? What are the other options? What's the positive side? What's the greater application of this? In other words, we learn from our separation. We learn from our drama and turn it into empowerment, and then go, my God, as empowered individuals, we can do great work together to evolve the human species, and with the help of this world, very consciously. And then there's the grand story, or I call it the grand adventure triangle. Now, this involves a complexity of interaction. If you look at a drama, it's like such a complex drama, or such a complex creation, such a challenge, so much caring needed, that it's beyond our imagination to imagine it. Which means we have to step beyond our imagination to step into that grand adventure. What lies beyond our ability to imagine? We're going to create a new world, and we've all got our ideas, and we've all got our vision, and we've all got our imagination. And we're becoming more conscious, and we're caring more and creating more and challenging ourselves to, the world is our challenge, living here in the world, being in a human body, and we're a human species who's conscious. And it's like, wow, what a work to bring that together. It's so much more fulfilling and satisfying than just going round and round in pain and losing and winning and drama. But beyond that, and beyond that is three components. The domain of spirituality, where consciousness comes from, where creation comes from. Now, what the hell do I mean by spirituality? Spirituality, my definition, the one I work with because it makes the most sense and it's most practical, is each person's unique relationship with the divine, however they see. Now, if you see Jesus as the divine, then it's your unique relationship with Jesus. If you see Buddha, if you see infinity, nothing, whatever it is, consciousness, love, that's the way you frame your relationship with it, with that which is greater than us, that lies beyond our imagination. That's the domain of relating to something far greater than ourselves, our spirituality. And that's where it's looking at how do I relate to that as a unique individual in a way that it becomes alive and living and vibrant and real. It's like this adventure. And each person, it's unique for, because each person is unique. Like any mother knows that every child she has, there's a unique relationship that develops between her and the child. Same with the father. So there's that domain where all those relationships are coming, creating something even greater, what beyond our capacity to imagine. That's why uniqueness scares us, because it's so vast what it opens up. And then rather than the challenger or the persecutor, there's the field of play. Now, going back, the field of play is the world that we live in, it's planet Earth, but it's also the culture that we live in, the civilization that we create, our tradition, our relationship with the earth. And again, that's unique to each individual, but we share that with so many other individuals, and through them that ripples out to everyone. And so the last component is the complexity of human beings. And human beings are unbelievably complex. And when we're in that win-lose reality of drama, that's lost. Because you're either a hero or a persecutor, or you're screwed up and you're a victim. And you feel disconnected from your power. In the grand adventure, you're so connected with power as it empowers you as an individual that you shine as a unique creation. And you share that with other people who are unique creations and who are conscious of it. And conscious of their world, and conscious they're part of a whole species which is connected to all the other species in the world. But this human species, and on this planet, there's a unique consciousness in the human species on this planet. And there's not only one, but that's a whole other story. So you've got this field of play, and the fact that human beings individually are incredibly complex, and collectively are incredibly complex. And we each have our own unique relationship with that which is greater than us, or another way of putting it, we each are a different expression of that divine, a unique creation that's been given consciousness. We're not a victim. We've been a unique creation's field of play. Our world, our body, our world, our relationships, our family, our community, our culture, our civilization, this earth, our tradition, who we've been, who we truly are and have been always and will be. And then how do you get that sort of complexity? And at that point, it's not a matter of just saying it's all love. It's like anything less than love won't allow it to hang together. It just won't hang together. You know, we can all be happy, but it'll still fall apart at some point. Love becomes tantamount, not because you should or that's what you believe, or we all love because we love getting estrogen rushes, or, you know, we have our own particular approaches to things, testosterone. No, this is like, damn, love is the most practical thing that ever existed, because it's the only way you can handle how complex human beings are in a field of play that is just filled with complexity, this Earth. I mean, compared to Mars and the Moon and anywhere else we know, it's unbelievably intricate and complex. This is like a planet like nothing that we've found out there. And even if we found other planets with human beings, they'd be nothing like this, because this is unique, just like every human being is unique. That's our field of play. And we bring our spirituality to this domain, and that is an adventure. It's not a drama. It's not about empowerment. It's not about the great work. It's what brings it all together. It even makes sense of the drama, because this is an incredible adventure. And we cannot imagine. We can use our imagination to deal with creating, to deal with being more conscious, to deal with our world, with other human beings, to face our challenges, to mentor and care for each other. But there's something even greater than that. There's something that we can't imagine, and we need to allow ourselves to receive love, receive understanding and wisdom. And fundamentally, we need to be open to receiving such an adventure that it's like going to a movie and it turned out to be way better than you imagined. And so for me, I don't ignore where I act like a victim. I just don't, because it's giving me clues. But what I look for is, where's the evidence of me being great? And I focus on that. And I use that to heal the victim, to heal the part of me that likes to dominate or persecute or be right or do it all correct, and the part of me that likes to ride in on a white horse and make it all good. I look at that and go, boy, if I'm slipping towards victim, I need to get more creative. If I'm slipping towards persecuting, I need to be challenged. I need to find, this is a challenge, right? And if I'm trying to be a hero, I need to be careful. I need to be mentored. You know, the great heroes of history that have really made a difference have had incredible mentors. I mean, there's thousands of examples of that. Mentors who know how human beings work and how complex they are, and love them anyway, because they're doing their great work and they're on their great adventure. And it's truly only after we pass away that we're outside the set, or it's those moments when we truly go deep and connect with something greater than ourselves within ourselves, that we get a glimpse of that. We appreciate what a gift human life is. And drama is just the part of us pointing out we're missing out. And so value it. But take the advice. I'm missing out. I'm trying to dominate the conversation. I'm trying to save people. It's like, I need to care more. I need to challenge myself more. And then take it the next step, take it the next step. You know, When we die, we get to see what a gift it was. But if you get involved with the great work and become more conscious, you get to see it while you're alive as well. And it's beyond just the images and the ideas you create in your mind. That's being empowered. You create positive images, you put yourself in a better place. But when you do the great work, when you contribute to something, to the conscious evolution of humanity, and you become more conscious, you start to see it while you're alive. What a gift this is. What a gift even victims are, but you care enough not to do what you can to allow them to discover what you've discovered. Not to convince them to see things the way you see them or live like you live, but to give them the space to discover who they truly are and bring their uniqueness to the table. And then we begin to see what an adventure. When you go beyond imagination and deal with a complexity which is your mind is not capable of dealing with, but your body and spirit can work with that, can dance within that, can tap into that. And then your mind becomes an observer of, this is God. No matter how good I think it can be, this busts my expectations. It's greater than I imagined. I didn't realise not only it could be this good, but how good it already is. And how good, becoming conscious is so you can appreciate the gift and take that appreciation, that gratitude with you beyond this life and enrich the whole domain of spirituality, the whole domain that's based on love, with more love. Add more love to infinite love. I mean, you can't quite figure that out, and you're not supposed to. It's just, boils down to this. Every day is meant to be enjoyed to the best of your ability. And when you lose it, learn. And when you live it, celebrate and learn. When you lose it, heal. Learn and heal. When you gain it, celebrate and share it. So I think the lady running the thing said, I'll be interested in your perspective on this. Well, that's my perspective, and I've tried as best I can to share it from the heart as well as just share the information. Hope you enjoy that, and really tap into that in your life, because we'll all benefit. Every single one in this world will benefit and beyond. Take care.